Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend DG Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, host of a Totally Turtle sports and gaming YouTube channel, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network.
Recording has started.
Beautiful time.
In a world of capes and lunatics.
Gods and monsters. Uh-oh. May have lost some Charlie Esser. All right, kids.
Of gods and monsters.
Sorry.
No, it's not your fault, Tristan. Yes, the Wi-Fi is giving us trouble, but in a world of capes and lunatics, gods and monsters, there may arise threats like a slow Wi-Fi that no hero alone may challenge. And in those moments, you must need a rise of technologically advanced heroes to thwart the villain.
That's right.
They are the Avengers. And this is Avengers Declassified. I am your host, Charlie, the Professor Esser, and with me, as always, is the ever-patient, ever-considerate, blue-eyed bomber of the Burger Pits,
Phil Podcast Perich.
Welcome, podcast. Oy, what a day. So, welcome to Iron Man 223 and 224. The story of Force.
If you remember the last couple months of current Iron Man books, remember when Tony and Rhodey were working with that guy, and you're like, who's that guy? This is that guy.
This is that guy. He has a mustache now.
Yeah.
But
disguise.
Before he had a clever mustache to disguise, man, if they had, instead of doing the cap and glasses in the MCU, they had just done a very exaggerated mustache. Who am I? You do not know. I have a mustache. Am I Charlie the Professor Esser? His stash was legendary. But no more. No, I could be anyone. Moving right along. But that's not till the second issue, Phil. Don't spoil us.
I know.
So, at the start of this, we have Justin Hammer's Elite Army. And man, I do love this interpretation of Justin Hammer. Because here's what I'm going to say. Now, for those who've seen Return to the King, you know that there is a quality to Justin Hammer that was not immediately clear in the films, but has been made clear in the shorts in the MCU.
Justin Hammer is the rival, right?
Yeah, is a rival of Tony Stark.
My fan theory is that he might be the replacement in the Dark Avengers for Iron Patriot. He would be
a very good Iron Patriot in the Dark Avengers if we go that far. But Justin Hammer, the Justin Hammer we see in this is, well, not effete or a dandy, is clearly...
He's an old man. He's an old
man delighted by the finer things in life and very controlling and picayune. And, if you go by...
Basically, at this point, he's basically just, because they get into it in some Iron Mans. There's even a Spider-Man story. He'll finance some of these guys for their costumes and weaponry, and then they have to split, like, I don't know if it's half or whatever they steal with him and stuff. So
It's the same deal the power broker worked out. The only difference was the power broker really, unless he was using the drugs to control them, didn't have a way to make them pay.
Well, when they couldn't find work, he's like, "Here, let me set you up with some wrestling." See,
Yeah, because a lot of people, they want the power, but they don't want to be a villain.
yeah.
They want to fight people, but they don't want to. It's a complex issue because there's a lot of people that want to have power and they want to be able to beat people up, but not a lot of people who just want to kill people randomly. They want to destroy property, not people. And there's only so much business in destroying property. But anyway, in this case, so we have Force, who everyone has started to feel is a little been weirding out people because he's only talking to himself. He's just sort of, he's kind of getting very internalized. And that is what occurs when he decides to scuttle their super submarine. And all of the henchmen are like, what's going on? Why would Force do such a thing? But they inform Justin that Force is gone rogue. And Justin tries to do a protocol, but Force resists. And I find that very fascinating. And especially in the idea, does this lead into the Armor Wars? Or
I mean, Armor War starts in 225, so yeah, I mean,
because this sort of suggests that maybe our good man Force, being maybe a scientific genius himself in some way, realized that this was Stark tech, realized how they were thwarting the Stark tech, and then was able to, when they were thwarting the Stark tech, was able to unthwart it because he had planned ahead.
But that does seem weird, though, when they hit a button and on a technological suit, and he uses force of will to resist a suit shutting down.
Well, but like I said, I'm imagining that there is. I'm imagining because I haven't read any other issues, so I'm going to project my continuity onto the story, as all good writers should, without reading the rest of it to figure out how they ever explained it, or if they just didn't even bother. Because I'm gonna guess they didn't even bother.
I mean, Justin Hammer, I don't know, he doesn't seem that bright because it's like it doesn't seem like they ever put any kill switches in any of this technology. Because, like I said, there's a Spider-Man story where he gets Scorpion a new tail, but then Scorpion goes off the book and it's holding hostages, and it's like, give me Jameson, and so then Justin Hammer has to send in the Rhino and Whiplash, and the story ends, spoilers. I mean, Rhino just rips the tail off the Scorpion.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why you send in the Rhino. I mean, and we're talking old school Rhino, Rhinodermis surgically attached to his body. We don't even ask how he pees anymore. Yeah. Because we can imagine how he might poop, but we don't know how he pees.
Oh.
I'm just saying, man, he's got some glutes for days. So that boy is thick. Moving right along. We're off topic, Philip. So, he escapes. He goes to Stark. What's Stark doing in this? Is this the one? Yeah, this is the one
where he gets the perm.
What?
This is the one where he gets the perm.
Oh, he gets the perm, the great and legendary mulleted perm.
Yes.
The mulleted perm that will carry us all throughout the 90s. It becomes the look that is Tony Stark. It has the soul glow, and it is magnificent. Why Robert Downey Jr. refused to have a perm mullet, I will never understand. Although I don't think he could have pulled it off like a comic book Tony Stark could. So, it shows you the weakness of movies where you have human beings trying to be gods among men.
And this was the 80s.
Yes, this led into, but this is the look that kind of wound up defining Tony Stark for a while before the MCU. Because I know when we get into our Force Works and things like that, it's that delightful permed mullet, need your curls and your length, man. This is when Superman had a mullet, so people forget how powerful the mullet was, and maybe someday will be again. But he's this is the one where he's bending some metal, and this is where Climenstra comes in.
No, Force shows up at Stark Enterprises, and they're like, "Oh,
that's right."
Here.
That was the last issue. Was that the last issue?
That was last episode. Yes,
that was last episode. Sorry.
That's all right. No. So Force shows up, and then is basically, he can't communicate, but he's just like, "Hey, yeah."
Oh, but we do see that Rhodey gets a manicure.
Yes,
Rhodey gets a purple manicure with a big pinky nail.
Because he was distracted by the young lady giving him the manicure.
But I'm just trying to think, like, what was her perspective on that? Like, you need purple nails, and you need one big pinky.
I mean, was it just?
Did she think he was a pimp or something? It's like I'm a little offended for Rhodey in this.
I mean, I'd rather err on the side of maybe that just is more expensive, so she just gave him the most expensive one because Tony Stark's whatever he is, bodyguard or whatever is Tony Stark will pay for it.
Yeah, but that's a cocaine fingernail is all I'm saying. So it's like, hey, I'm a child of the 70s. I know what's what. I know when you got that one long pinky. I know what you're doing with that pinky. Don't.
You're picking your nose.
Everyone loves cocaine. No, you're not picking your nose, Tristan.
Okay.
But yeah.
You're poking people.
Well, no, you're in snorting cocaine.
Oh. Okay.
So yes.
I just made those jokes.
I understand. No, I understand why you were making the jokes, and they're solid jokes, Tristan.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to say there's a darker humor in here.
Cocaine, really, with pinkies?
Well, yeah, because you have the pinky and you like put a little cocaine on your.
No! Don't nothing of the boy. This.
Children have to know. Children have to know what it means.
Don't do this. Don't do this exactly this way.
Well, look, I have made my life's purpose to show my children not to use drugs by being a bad example. I'm uncancelable. Anyway, moving right along.
I use drugs.
Thank you. See, it works. Meanwhile, they go to help out our good friend Force.
Well, yeah, he can't communicate. They find a way to hook him up, and he's like, yeah. He's like, I want out, and I came, so Iron Man finds a way to, break him out of the suit, and.
I do love the fact that he says what kind of coax cable he needs.
Yes.
Do you have a Z426 cable?
A79, yes.
Yeah, whatever it was. But it's just like I need. But it makes sense that there's one outlet on his suit.
It's Justin Hammer Tech,
Yeah, I need a USB, man. I need a 9-point gold inlay.
It's Hammer Tech. It's like and it's the 80s, so it's like all compatible with Radio Shack.
Well, exactly. Good old Radio Shack. Meanwhile, back in the jungle. So they get him out, and because basically the idea is that if he tries to take his suit off, he will electrocute himself, which immediately raises the question: how does he pee?
Well, I think it wasn't that way until they hit that Justin Hammer's like, hit the button.
Yeah, but even still, has he been holding it the whole time? I don't know. That's the question.
Well, how long did it take him to get here? Because he was already flying the Stark when they hit the button. So.
Yeah, but if he's hydrated, maybe he's dehydrated. So we're gonna assume he left very dehydrated. which would also explain why he's not putting up much of a fight, because he's not in any mood to do it. He's dry and he's hangry, and he needs to just get out of this suit. So good thing that he's able to get out of it. Then what happens?
Well, later on, Tony takes off the armor. It's like, oh, I see you, Rhodey and my bodyguard Iron Man have freed you. And he's like, well, basically, what do you want? And,
yeah.
He's
and
like,
they make the guy go to prison.
Well, the guy's Clay Wilson. He's like, yeah, I want to that turn, get out. I want out, and I can offer all this information on Justin Hammer. And I came to you because Tony Stark is the only name I've ever heard. Justin Hammer's like afraid of and stuff.
Yeah, and it's again, there's a comics coterie that goes into these things that I'm so glad we're kind of moved beyond. It was like, well, no, you must answer for your crimes, sir. We're not going to get a lawyer here to argue your case and help you navigate to your best possible outcome. You must first answer for your crimes, sir. And we will drop you off at the police station. Yeah. And they will determine your fate.
I mean, I get it, but it's basically just, unless we run them through the legal system, it's like, well, what can we do with this Hammer information unless, you just have Iron Man just destroying Justin Hammer's properties, and I'm sure that's not going to play well on the evening news.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's sort of the thing. And this is where Iron Man in the last few episodes, being bamboozled by a lawyer. I don't know all this legal talk. It confuses me. You would think the man would hire a good lawyer to have with him at all times.
Yes.
Like every superhero should have a super lawyer. You don't have to be Daredevil or She-Hulk. There could be just lots of people who are versed in superhuman law to say, okay, let me walk you through this, boss. Let me explain to you how what's going to happen is going to happen. So don't look like the idiot you are.
Yeah.
And it's not that Tony Stark's an idiot. It's that he doesn't know everything. And law is a blind spot for the man.
Well, and they don't know that Justin Hammer has someone in the mole in the police department, which he does. So
yeah, the guy driving the fancy truck, which I do love. How they do have these superhuman tech trucks. I mean, this is not for nothing. Sort of wow, this was in the 80s before truly militarized police were a thing.
I love it, and I love it's big and yellow.
Oh, it's big and yellow. It's a big gold because it's made to bust into superhero joints. To be fair, I guess you can say advanced technology advances. And if you're in a universe with big gold superhero trucks, they're gonna have big gold superhero trucks to burst into supervillain lairs because everybody's a supervillain now. And so, you might as well be ready for it. But no one considered that the guy who is in charge of driving it is on the payroll himself for Hammer Industries.
I love Justin Hammer just sitting there in his little villa or whatever next to his indoor pool, and he's just basically thank you. There will be he literally says there will be something extra in your bribe this week.
Yeah, well, I mean that's because you don't care.
There'll be something extra in your bribe envelope this week.
I love the fact that it's actually on a plane, or it's at least that's the implication. It's no, my entire Evil Lair Villa, it's actually on a Boeing 747, because we do get the his crew there who are, was it Backlash,
Blizzard, and our buddy the Beetle.
The Beetle, man, the Beetle back before he was a good guy, or some semblance thereof. It's just he's just a super genius looking for a job. Mm-hmm. Which is weird because you would think that a super genius could get a job selling Beetle parts to people.
Yeah, that's the thing. He can build his own suit. He just needs I guess he just needs the money.
But he doesn't need his own suit. Why does he need a suit? He just needs people to pay him to make them suits.
I don't know. Maybe he likes the action. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Well, that's always the problem. It's like, oh, I want to be in the action. It's like, really? Why? You know? It's like the Tinkerer. The Tinkerer, he's like, no, I just build super weapons, man.
I mean, maybe Justin Hammer pays him more money to be like, yeah, you could be a guy who just builds the suits for me and I'll pay you a decent salary. But hey, man, you can make a lot more if you go out with these guys and kill this stool pigeon who's about to sing.
Yeah, no, I mean, to be fair, I mean, this is, as I always say, that's the great handbook of the Marvel Universe, was that they would have the line that after he created whatever, or after they gained the superpowers, being lacking in imagination, they immediately turned to crime as the best use of the thing, which is just a great excuse. Like, they're just not smart. I mean, they can do one thing, but they lack imagination. They don't think about what is the best way to monetize a super battle armor in a military industrialized complex of a world. Or maybe there's hey, I can build great battle armor, but I can't build Stark armor. And, Stark's always going to take the thing. It's always going to take the prize. So
yeah,
if I'm an upstart armor producer in the arms race, will I ever actually be able to compete with Stark? So
yeah.
Anyway,
But
so they were all off to kill our good friend. What's his name again?
Clay Wilson. Yeah,
Clay Wilson. Any relation to Wade Wilson?
not that I know of.
Yeah, but they both had that amazing mustache. So,
Oh, but yes, it's funny because once again, it's back in the secret identity days. So yes, they break into the prison while Tony Stark's standing there, and he's like, "Oh no, I don't have my armor. What will I do?"
Which immediately raises the question: why does he leave his armor behind when he goes places?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe
Aside from so the story can happen, it's
maybe because it's just like the cops will listen to Tony Stark more than his bodyguard.
No, but I mean, like his armor fits in a briefcase.
Exactly, I know.
So it's like he could have the briefcase. He could just be, I'm fancy businessman Tony Stark with my briefcase. Don't question why I have a briefcase.
I mean, he is I mean,
it's like, I don't know. I feel like he could better plan these situations out if there were not someone writing him to be in a situation where I don't have my armor. But fun fact, this is at a point in his life where he didn't always have to wear his armor because his heart was no longer damaged.
Yeah, no.
Yay! This is before his spine gets damaged, I think.
Yes.
Yes, because then we're going to have another piece of technology implanted into him that's too expensive for anyone else in the world to ever have to fix their inability to walk. Which is cool, I guess. But that's a future issue.
Yeah.
In this episode, so we get into the big fight. Everyone's sort of trapped. And
but then Rhodey figures out what's going on, but Blizzard's iced up the entrance, so Brody's like, I gotta get him the armor, but what am I gonna do? Cue the big yellow plot device.
Yeah, cue the Stark's gun, because that's really what it is. This is a big gun that was shown in the first scene. Now we have to fire it. And you either have to have it, and that's the thing about Chekhov's gun. You have to fire it. Doesn't mean it has to work. It could also jam.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to, once you establish that this is a thing in the story, now we have to utilize this thing in the story. And it can be utilized in numerous ways, not always in a bad way, maybe sometimes in a good way. But in this case, we're going to burst through the walls of the prison. Let everyone else free, I imagine, because it's not like they only have walls on one side.
I mean, unless that was an outer wall, I don't know.
But yeah, we free Mr. Wilson and everyone in that. And
they drive off in the armored car until they get to a parking garage, and then Rhodey's getting Clay to safety, and he's like, "Here, boss, here's your briefcase. You might need a ballpoint." Wink, wink.
Yeah, maybe next time bring a briefcase with you.
Exactly.
Of course, I guess they were afraid of the. That's the thing. It's like, what are they afraid? Are they afraid that they're going to open the case? He can't put a false top in it. It's like, what is beyond Tony Stark's ability to hide the armor?
I know if you could invent like sophisticated battle armor that fits in a briefcase, don't you think you could create a false top or something for her?
Yeah, you would think, Philip, and yet here we are. Okay,
but yeah, he gets back to the police station, but the villains are already escaping, and then he's telling the cops, "I want to take Clay Wilson and have him in my custody because he's not safe." And the cops are like, "No way!" And then Tony's like, "Hold on, let me make a call." And he calls his, guess he has his good friend Mayor Bradley.
Yeah, which is, I suppose, odd. Or I don't know if that actually makes me feel safer. That, oh yeah, the mayor's on the take too. That if it's just like who runs LA, well, there's two billionaires who basically exchange bribes to decide who's going to be running the city.
I mean, in a way, Tony Stark said, "Here, let me take this former supervillain into custody." The supervillains have already attacked the police station, so
yeah. And this is like,
secretly the cops are probably like, "Yeah, go ahead, take him."
Yeah, please go. Yeah. So it's good in the end. I am excited to see where any of it goes. But yeah, I guess at the end of the day, the biggest concern you have is that it's leading into Armor Wars, and we can see the foundations here, but they don't actually address it anywhere. At no point is there a discussion about how Stark Tech has leaked into the public domain at this point, and nobody is actually putting any curtails on it. So that's my disappointment in these issues. But overall, the action was awesome and is great. It only looks bad in hindsight when you know what will be coming next, and you can see where they're laying the groundwork. And maybe if they were too obvious here, it would have been annoying.
Yes, but because they set a trap for the three villains in that old West town.
Oh, well, that was fun. That was fun. You got a little and it's not Two Gun Kid because he has the vest, but he's got a mustache. It's a little disappointing that they didn't put in actual Marvel Western heroes as the animatronics, which would have been good. I would have loved to see the Rawhide Kid there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been lovely. But we didn't get that, Phil, so we can't wallow in what we did not have. All right, Philip. Let's see. What book do you want to talk tonight?
Well, here, you want to try to squeeze in two? You want to try to do Avengers and Secret Invasion?
Sure. Oh, Avengers. Avengers was great.
Yeah.
So for those who don't remember, in the last episode of Avengers Forever, Dr. Doom turned Red Hulk Starbrand into a Super Ball.
No.
Which is weird to me because it didn't look like it killed Red Hulk Starbrand.
I was gonna say, is the Starbrand keeping him alive? Maybe.
Well, I was waiting for Starbrand Super Ball to just start bouncing and be like Bouncing Boy, just like bam, 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 and maybe we'll get that in the next issue.
Or it's just Doom. Maybe Doom's like, you know what? I'm not going to kill you, but you're going to be in intense pain.
No, I think Doom can't kill people. I don't think Doom, as always, Doom is a hack.
Oh.
Even as the greatest Doom sorcerer scientist in the Omniverse, he's still a hack. He's still a guy who, and I'm just waiting for freaking Nakamoto to say, wait a minute. You're just a petty dabbler, aren't you?
No,
You're not sacrificing anything.
No, you know what I'm waiting for.
You don't know what magic is, Sir Doom.
You know what I'm waiting for. This is an alternate Doom. They're like, there's only one man who could stop him, and they bring in 616 Doom, and the two just have like stare at each other and mouth words contest. It's like, no, I am Doom. No, you are a petty dabbler. I am Doom.
Yeah, well, they're all petty.
Exactly.
That's the thing. It's like this is.
But it's just a battle like who's the pettiest dabbler of them all. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, but that's the thing, and that I mean, like in Avengers Forever, we see it looks like Super Bowl Starbrand is still alive.
Mhm.
That's when it seems like they're dying, but we also see that 616 Starbrand is dying. But oh gee, if only this power could somehow be reborn. It's just I wonder what's going to happen next. But yeah, and again in this we basically see everything they try to do, the villains ending poorly, which is why we imagine that Mephisto this is all part of Mephisto's plan, because it is the villains versus Mephisto versus the Avengers, and the Avengers are going to win at the end because, as it turns out, it's their book. But I do love, and this is to me the dumbest thing that Doom has ever done, because he is a petty dabbler. He says, we will simply destroy all of their ancestors.
Yeah, let's destroy all
and
life
that
on
will
Earth.
prevent them from ever being able to defeat us.
Yeah, it's going to kill everything on Earth in prehistoric times. Oh, yeah, that's not going to have consequences.
For Doom!
Yeah, but this is an
Doom
alternate.
is a human being!
Yeah, but it's a Doom from an alternate time, from an alternate reality, isn't he? Just
from this far back? Like,
okay. Where does
yeah,
it off from? Okay.
The idea, it's a branching timeline, Phil.
Yeah.
Unless he's from the Doomiverse, where all beings are Doom, and he's just the one who left.
I mean, he's a petty dabbler. He's just like, I'm going to kill everyone here, but I'll be from the timeline where everyone lived.
Yeah, I don't think it works that way.
Again, petty dabbler.
Yeah, I mean, there is the argument. I mean, and of course, this is your Back to the Future versus I forget the other. There's a popular thing that just came out where basically you go back in time, you can't destroy your own timeline because you went back in time and you yourself exist.
Yeah,
which is actually the standard 616, but that doesn't solve the problem. They can kill everyone on the seed world of the 616, but they're all still there.
Well, I think that wasn't like the Marvel rule, when at least until Bendis, where it's just like, yeah, anyone tries to go back in time and change things, they couldn't they couldn't change the actual main timeline. They just created an alternate timeline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, there was a whole thing in Hickman. Was it Hickman or was it? No, it was Miller's Fantastic Four, and where there was this idea that there's a certain there's an algorithm that'll say you haven't destroyed your future enough yet, so you can do this much more, and then it gets to be you're getting into the dangerous spot between where the tides of the universe sort of wash away any changes you've made. But yeah, there's lots of ways you can deal with time travel. But the idea of killing everyone on the prehistoric 616 Earth that is going to be part of every Earth ever, I just don't think it was a smart idea by Doom.
Or does Doom just think like he can kill everyone and then just like, oh, well, I'm just going to destroy the multiverse and create my own, one of those?
Yeah, I guess so, except he's dealing with time travel now, and now it's just kind of stupid. It's just,
or hey, I'll kill everyone and just repopulate the Earth with my minions or whatever.
Yeah, Doom's not the smartest guy in the world. He, honestly, and that's the thing. It's like if he had a universe full of Doombots, he would hate that. There was a Twilight episode. There was a Twilight Zone episode expressly about that.
This week's Fantastic Four. When we're done, you have to read it. I mean, read and Sue discover a town full of Doombots.
Yes, I saw that. I was very excited to read that. I have not gotten to it yet.
Well, when you get to the details, it gets good. Yeah,
I can imagine so. But anyway, so I like the Ghost Rider in this. I like how basically, the Phoenix is like, now you will all burn, and Ghost Rider's like, I'm made of fire. You are not going to burn me. What are you talking about, person? I get that you're like the evil one, but it's like, there's a lot of evil in the universe, and I'm the first guy to notice. And I don't think you're really ready for this. And I love how the master is like, doesn't this usually go better? Don't we usually defeat all these people right away? What's happening? Why are we no longer the protagonists of our own story? What happened? See, they needed the Omniversal Deadpool on their team.
I don't. Again, Mephisto don't care. Mephisto just wanted everyone to, get all to wear each other down, and I'll fight the survivors.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's the idea, and that's delightful. But at the end of the day, I get the feeling they're setting up this idea. So here's my crazy, super connected prophecy for all of this is that at the end of it, they defeat the masters of Omniversal Evil, and then Mephisto's rise and say, now we will make your universe the evil universe. And they're going to go, what makes you think our universe isn't already dominated by evil? I mean, not for nothing, dude. You do realize that this is all crazy, and do you really think you're gonna make a universe more evil than the one that we came from? What, you're gonna try and stomp out the last good? Well, dude, the more you try to stomp out good, the more it rises. I mean, that's the problem with your evil construct, is that it can't destroy good, because the good is actually the only thing that makes evil make sense.
Yeah, but anymore, I think it's just, it's not like, oh, we're going to turn your universe evil. It's like, no. Now you're going to be under new management. Now you're going to be under our brand of evil.
Yeah, but are they even really evil? When you actually get down to it, are they just
dumb?
Are they just the cartoonish, amalgamations of human evil? And there is even a line in this where, as the heroes are fighting and the scared, fearful populace kill a person with 6 fingers that they find among them.
Because we angered the god somehow.
Something ain't right. I don't know, man. Let's try and kill somebody, see if that makes it better. Have we tried killing them yet, Phil?
Ah, yes.
And that is what it comes down to. And I get the feeling that at the end of all of this, that's going to be the thing. It's like Mephisto will win, but it's like, had you lost? I mean, what really are you gaining here, Mephisto? We've been dealing with you.
Did this battle inspire the first murder? It's like, oh, hey, we figured out, hey, the gods may be angry. If we hit this person hard enough, they would be no more.
Yeah, well, no, I think that at the end of the day, it's going to be, because clearly there's been lots of murders. I mean, clearly they've been murdering mutants since the Phoenix first showed up in this universe. Although I do love the fact that, we get the Mama Bear Phoenix coming. I hear you, baby. Mama's coming at the end of this.
Yeah.
That, to me, is chef's kiss.
Reinforcements, and it's going to make Odin all nervous. Yeah. Yes.
Although, to be fair, that means that there's going to be 2 Phoenixes on the hero side, 1 Dark Phoenix on the bad guy's side. You're like, who the heck are you? Why are you one of us? It's like, do we even like you? You seem like the petty dabbler of our group. Are you all just failed people who just didn't really understand how to be good? Did you just not understand how to be heroes? Did you not understand with great power comes great responsibility? Where's Peter? Someone get Peter in here. He's the guy that tells it best. Because that's really what it is. It's like, and maybe that's the big joke at the end is they're like, they defeat the bad guys, and then it's like, no, we just defeated the bad guys. You have no power here, Mephistos. Because we've established that with great power comes great responsibility, and you don't actually have power. You only have power in your ability to manipulate us. But quite frankly, we're kind of sick of you idiots right now. And why don't you go back to your own requisite dimensions and call it a day? We can't stop you. You exist. You obviously have always existed in this world. And we're not going to be able to undo that. But, dude, that you think you're going to take over because, oh no, supervillains won one time. It's like, that's not how it really works, man. Because the supervillains don't like you either. They actually like you even more than we do. Because they know that if they fall, they're going to get punished by you. And maybe that is the actual truth of it. Is that, no, we just wanted all of the extra supervillains. And see, there were some super powerful supervillains that have been running roughshod over us, and we weren't able to claim their souls. So now we're claiming them all. That's all we wanted, man. We just wanted all that delicious dark energy. It's what fills our tum-tums. All right, Philip. Anything else you want to talk about tonight?
Oh, real quick, you want to talk Secret Invasion?
Oh, Secret Invasion. This is chef's kiss. Secret Invasion is always great, although I feel really mad. They're like, you're probably too young to remember this. But the first Secret Invasion, it's like, dude, don't make me feel old for my comic book that I was already old when I read.
I mean, yeah, was it Secret Invasion like 2009 or something?
Like, what? You kids, you don't remember the first Secret Invasion, you say? And they impersonated the captain of the Americans. And
Wait, back 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah, it's like, although I guess.
And that's in real time. In Marvel time, that was what, like 6 months ago?
I know, it's very patronizing, and I'm very mad at you, Marvel, for making me feel older than I actually am. Not talking Skrull Cows here. Skrull Cows are, oh yes, I'm too young to remember Skrull Cows. But yeah, so they do figure out a way to. This is such an interesting layer upon layer for it.
Like test people's blood, test the hero's blood.
Yeah, but it's the Maria Hill who figures it out, which also suggests that everything about everything has been a setup, and that is honestly that secondary twist about how to prove the Skrulls are real, find a way to defeat them, and by the way, I do love the thing callback that we have to test the blood. If we test the blood, that's how we know who is the shapeshifter. But if they actually find a way to circumvent that, which they already developed a way to circumvent it, which is like that's the whole thing, is that this is all a setup.
Yeah. So
that they introduce a way to circumvent it. So they found a way to circumvent the original.
Yeah,
but they realize they can't just circumvent the original. They have to make people think there's another failsafe that hasn't been made available yet. And that is That is disturbing, Philip. I'm not
Well,
going to lie.
because they don't realize that the Skrulls have circumvented it because I mean they test the Avengers' blood and it seems look, Black Widow's blood changed. Black Widow's the Skrull. Not realizing that there's another Skrull.
Well, yeah, but again, within the whole concept, it's like they're establishing they're sacrificing pawns.
Oh yeah.
To set up it's a bunch of pawn sacrifices, and that's what it is. It's like we're gonna and even to the point where the Maria Hill, who is already replaced, has to become a woman above reproach. So she has to defeat a Skrull in a believable way so that she can then introduce the detection and then prove all the heroes are real.
Wait, Maria Hill's a Skrull?
Didn't you see the final episode, the final scene?
Yeah, that's Tony Stark.
No, that's Tony Stark and Maria Hill. Then Maria Hill turns into Tony Stark.
Oh, I thought it was two Tony Stark, just two Tony Starks.
Well, it's two Tony Starks, but it's after Maria Hill was already Tony Stark.
Oh.
Unless I misread that. That's what it looked like to me. I don't have my phone in front of me. Do you have the actual book in front of you?
Yeah. I just because you see Iron Man land on the roof, I guess, of his house, and I thought it was Tony Stark walking in, and then we kind of see that his arm wound morph, and then we see. I thought it looks like there's two Tony Starks talking to each other.
But at the start of it, isn't he talking to Maria Hill?
I don't know. He's talking to someone, but I don't know if that's the big reveal that it's like, he walks in the house and there he's talking to another Tony Stark.
Yeah, I don't know. I got the feeling that he was talking to Maria Hill. So that's my take. Maybe you talk a different take, and that's the mystery is who is really a Skrull, and that's the whole fun of Secret Invasion, Phil.
Oh yeah.
Who really is a Skrull? And in the end, it's just going to be that it was Bentley Whitten who saves us all in the end, because he said, I have an idea. What if we just shoot everybody? Because the Skrulls will heal. Okay. Moving right along, Philip. How can people reach out to us and touch us and talk to us if they want to?
All right. Yes, if you want to get a hold of us, email us CapesandLunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find this show and every other show we do on social media. So find links to all of those, links to the YouTube channel. Smash that subscribe button so you don't miss anything we do on all of our shows.
Smash it.
And of course, the Patreon, because once again, this is our passion project. We're paying for this ourselves, but $3 to $5. When you contribute $3 to $5, you get early access to creator interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats.
I got the good mic out for you guys.
I get the whole series of the year-long series of superhero movie brackets, and special stuff coming in 2023, including all patron demanded shows. So yes, become a patron and you can request what we talk about and pick yourself up some Capes and Lunatics and Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks merch. Find it all at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. Charlie Esser, I hope you're the real one. Where can people get a hold of you?
I am always real because no one can reproduce my girth. I am always available to you on the emails, as your mothers and fathers may have once emailed people at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And of course, follow me on the Twitter as I live tweet things when I feel like it, and they're on. And there are so few that I do, but I will someday do it, even though Stargirl is gone, with an amazing ending, beautifully well crafted. At Charlie Esser, that's CharlieEsser. Look for the two E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Maz. All right, my friends. You have come to the end of another harrowing portfolio of heretofore undissected tales of those who seek to avenge the wrongs of this world. This has been Avengers Declassified. This podcast will self-destruct eventually.
Working with the witness protection.
Yeah, you gotta avoid that. You just gotta get that mustache. I need the mustache. Then they're like, who is this person? I don't know them.
Who is that?
Who is this mustachioed gentleman? Surely not Superman.